If Elon Musk gave you this big of a book, right, on how to build a copy paste Tesla, and he just hands over that book to you, do you think will anybody be able to build another Tesla?
What are the mistakes few people do?
It's a really good question that you asked, and there are a lot of pieces that people do in a wrong way, right? The first piece, which might sound silly, but it is what it is people really want to sell. One of the biggest common mistakes people do. And but if you don't enter the arena with a selling mindset, then what do you enter it with?
It's
Commission press.
manifesting. It's
Yeah.
manifest. Can you tell us what are the different rules one has to basically follow, like body language? What are the most important things?
First thing really comes down to your stagecraft, right? Like how are you moving, and how are you making your hand moves, and how are you looking in the eyes, and like all these things.
Who are your top 3 role models?
I give a lot of my credits to Eli. Eli is one of my mentors. He has really helped me come through with stage selling and everything.
Hey everyone, welcome to Real Knowledge Club Summit. Today we have one of the most fascinating guests with us, right? And he will be sharing us so many secrets. Now imagine guys, one of the most important thing is it's all about like smart work. One good presentation can erase all the horrible decisions you have ever made in your life. Today we have a trailblazer who will be sharing the most important skills like presentation skills, persuasion skills, high ticket offer, serving it to the right people and everything. Who is none other than with us like Shubh Jain. Shubh Jain is a visionary entrepreneur, master presenter who was a college dropout, right now helping so many clients to make $100,000 to over $1 million in a launch, right? In a high ticket product launch, which can he's delivering within like weeks, right? And why it is important for us to learn this and how we can earn crores and make a huge impact to the world, how to leverage AI. Today's interview is broken down into like 4 steps. On the first pillar, we'll be discussing about the backstory, how to create a high ticket offer, how to create great presentation. On the second pillar, how to create premium offers. And on third pillar, how to crush the competition. On the fourth pillar, like you'll understand how to leverage AI and everything. It's going to be one of the most amazing master classes for you so that you can go learn and implement and make a world a better place to live. Without any further delay, let's all welcome Shubh Jain to the Real Knowledge Club Summit.
Hey man, what's up? Thanks for having me on. Nice to be
Yep.
here.
Yep, I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Shubh, for taking your super valuable time and coming up over here. I'm
Yep.
super excited. Amazing. Yep.
Let's do it.
And amazing. Thank you. And Shub, I'm so excited to know about your backstory, right? Like, from where do you basically come from? I believe you're from India. And tell us about your backstory. How did you come into this online entrepreneurship? I heard that you are a college dropout. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, sure thing. So again, it all starts like I think 4.5, 5 years back. That is when all of my journey got started. That's when we got started. I think it was like 2020 or something. 2019 and 2020 is when I got started in this industry. And first, I started with selling Netflix. I'm like, one of my ambitions was to become a hacker. Like, how can I hack stuff and like do all these crazy stuff? So I really learned about how do you hack Netflix and how do you hack Prime Video, right? And I figured out a way to crack accounts. I was pretty young, pretty dumb. So from then, yeah, what I was saying is from there I actually picked up this whole skill. Like I used to sell Netflix and Prime Videos in school, sell it to teachers, in fact give it away for free to bump my marks and all these stuff. I used to do all these craziness, and accidentally one day I figured out this button on Instagram. I had a page to sell this as well. I saw a button called Boost Post, right? I clicked on Boost Post, I put on $40, just 40 rupees, and I ran an ad. And that day I saw around like some 80, 90 people are in my inbox. They're saying like, I want Netflix for cheap. And I'm like, what is happening? And that day I made around 3,000 rupees. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I've got to learn more about this stuff. Um, then like Netflix and all these guys got to know about the breach they have in the system. They kind of fixed it, and like it all gone from there. From that is where like I built this whole addiction of marketing and selling, and like using leverage based selling to be able to go out there and produce millions in the easiest way possible, right? Rather than doing all the hard ways, you find one easy way and you triple down on that. So yeah, man, that's how it all got started. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. That's an incredible journey. How was your parents' reaction, right? Like you coming from a city, Jaipur, and like suddenly when you told like after like 12th you'll not go and do like bachelor's degree. If you see every Indian, most of them either want to become an engineer or a doctor, right? Like how
Right.
did you jump into this online?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. For 2 years, everybody called me a crazy guy. Like everybody called me a joker. And I'm like, that's fine because at that time I was making around 300, 400, $500 a month here and there. So they were kind of okay with it, but they were like, just do it. And I was like, cool, I'll do it. I'll go to Jaipur and I'll do it. So my mom and dad are from Chennai. I'm brought up in like I'm born in Rajasthan, but brought up in Chennai. So I was over there, and I was like, you know what? I'll go to Jaipur and I'll do the studies. I came to Jaipur and I did not study. Basically, that's the thing, right? And yeah, eventually, man, the more money I made, I just like started showing it to them. It's like, see, this is a real thing, right? And eventually, like, I'm pretty good at persuading them, right? I'm pretty good at convincing them that like this is my path from now and everything. I think they got convinced, but yeah, it was those 2 years of journey, man, where every single person was mocking me. Every single person thought I'm absolutely crazy, right? So yeah, the reactions was pretty crazy, but it's all good. It's all chill now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Loved it. And Shub, what was the key challenges like you were facing in the online journey? Like, and then how did you overcome those things, right?
Mhm.
When you got started?
Key challenges specific to what? Like specific to getting
Yeah,
clients, making money,
yeah,
and everything.
getting clients and like how, like identifying your niche. Like when you
Right,
started online, you said like you were selling Netflix things, then
right,
you wanted to become an hacker. Then how did you come into this like presentation, challenges, webinars?
right,
How did
right.
the transition happen?
Yeah. So again, I started learning this whole art. Like again, I was pretty smart kid, right? And I started looking for ways to make a lot of money in short period of time. Because think about this, right? A billionaire, right? They have the same time as we do, and
Right,
their brain is also the same size as our brains, right? But they kind of produce like some 20-year result in just 6 months, right? How do they
right,
do that? And I was really geek about this, all these things, and I had like all the billionaire pictures in my room and everything. That was pretty fun. But I was starting to look ways on making a lot of money in a short period of time. That was the crux of it all. And I got to know about this industry called software as a service, right? And in that SaaS world is where like there were people who were launching a product and like making $1 million in a week, making $2 million in a week. And I'm like, what is this world? And I want to learn this because yeah, a million in a week is a lot of money. Like in typically India, people take 2-3 years to able to make that kind of money, right? It's like if you
yeah,
can do it in a week, that's amazing, right? And I just reached out to the best person in software at that time, and I just messaged him, hey man, I'm just 18 or 19, whatever the age it was. Like, I want to work for you for free, right? Then he was like, he ignored me, and I harassed him almost over like God knows how many times, every day texting him. And then suddenly one day he was like, cool, let's do an interview. And he started paying me $500 a month at that time, right? And in just 1 year, we became business partners. He gave me percentages of his business because I literally took out the whole marketing team, and I started learning a lot of these advanced things and even the fundamentals, right? Because for people who are still struggling, the problem is it's not that they don't know the skills, it's just their fundamentals are completely broken, right? And people are not ready to agree with that and all these jazz, but that's the truth. And I really mastered my fundamentals, really mastered my foundations, right? And from there, I started doing launches for them standalone, like without their support. And like, I think I broke all the records. Like we did 1.2 million in a week. With a low ticket product, by the way, not even high ticket. So I really understood the whole art of like doing a presentation, doing a webinar, like selling a product, making an offer, like having the right people in the room and all these things. And it all started like that day I was seeing that the guy I was working with on a webinar, he had like 1,500 people live or something. He dropped the link, and almost around 800 people went and bought that product, and sales were coming in like crazy, man. I was like, what's happening? Like every time you refresh, there's like $100,000. Like just jumping in your bank account, right? And I'm like, this is the skill I want to dedicate and like I want to master for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know what this is, but this is amazing. Like every refresh you get like $100,000, and every refresh you get another $100,000, and it's amazing, man. It was that dopamine, and that led to my thing over here, and that is why I picked up the whole art and the skill of doing launches, art and the skill of selling products one to many, because that's the biggest form of leverage, right? If you play with leverage, you make money, right? So that's the simple crux of it. And yeah, that's where like I spent then 2 years, 2.5, in fact 3 years of my life nerding out very deeply. I learned from people who wrote Tony Robbins presentations one on one, paid them a lot of money. So yeah, man, that's how this whole journey came in, and then we jumped into the Indian market, and yeah,
Absolutely, that's amazing. I truly believe like billionaires focus on asymmetric leverage activity, right? Like they
right,
just do one thing so that they get 10 or 20 benefits, right? And
right.
that's what I truly believe. That's why I've kept my inspiration photo like Naveen Jain on my back. You must be knowing him, right? And my next question is like, what are the key critical components for a good presentation, right? And why it is important for one to become good presenter? Because as you told, like hard work is not the key to success. It's all about working smart and doing the right thing at the right time. And yesterday when I was on with the Dan Henry, I was in this challenge. Even he was telling that it is not the person who builds the house, construction worker, but it is the person who brings the money from the investor, right? Like who
Right.
persuades them. Can you tell us like why it is important for one to become a great presenter?
For sure. And like, in fact, Josh and all these people are really good friends. Like, we work together a lot and everything.
Amazing.
So again, the thing is, like conversations, why communications? For a simple reason, there are four levels of value, right? See, in any marketplace, whatever you're doing, you get paid by the value you provide to the marketplace, right? So there are four levels of value, man, right? To put it in a crux, the first level of value is implementation. That's right. This is where you go and implement stuff. Like you use your muscles and you use your time to be able to get stuff done. These are the people implementers, right? Grunt workers and all these
Yep.
things. People who are laying the bricks, building the buildings, and all
Working
these
in a
things. That is
factory.
implementation.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Right. The second level of value, here you make the least amount of money because there's no leverage out here, right? And this is the least level of value. People think if I'm working hard, that's amazing value, but that is not, right? That's hard work.
Yep.
And I don't know if hard work will make you rich, but I can guaranteedly tell you something: hard work will make you tired, right? So that's the first thing. And second thing is unification. Now, what is unification? It is managing people, right? It is managers. Like people who manage these implementers are unifiers, are the people who are in the stage of unification, right? And these are called basically managers, right? And that is the second level of value. Here you make a little bit more money. For example, imagine a manager managing 10 workers in the ground, so he makes a little bit more money, right? So that's the managerial level. Even in companies you see managers, senior managers, that's the kind of level they are in, right? That's the level of value.
Yep.
They work a little bit less, but they make a little bit more, right? But the very big key is the level 3 and level 4. The level 3 is communication. See, all the richest people in this world have one skill in common, that is communication. All the richest CEOs, the way they sell their product is through communication. You take Steve Jobs, you take anybody, right? Elon Musk, Tim Cooks. How do they sell their product? They stand on a stage in front of a lot of people, they communicate their product, and they sell it out, right? So yeah, and the quality of your life really comes down to the quality of your communication. So communication is the most important level of value that you can play in, right? And if you jump into the level of communication, you'll start making more money, because that's a skill. And Warren Buffett says this: if you just add communication to your arsenal, to your life skill, you'll add 50% more to your net worth instantly,
Absolutely.
right? That is the third level of value. And the highest level of value, Akshay, is called imagination, right? What do you mean by imagination? See, somebody out there was just sitting and just thinking, you know what? Petrol and diesel are enough. It's just ruining the country. What if we bring EV, electric vehicles, right? See, that guy imagined over there, and like today it's a multi billion or soon to be $1 trillion industry, right? And like Steve Jobs, right? He went to calligraphy classes, right? And he's like, oh, what if I can put my calligraphy skills into iPhone? And he put that, and that's imagination, right? He brought out something new, and that is when Apple blew up like anything, right? So but the common thing you see in all these things, the people who make the most amount of money are the people who work the least, right? Because they don't use the hard work, the time, the muscles. They use what we call as leverage, either communication and imagination. You see anybody, Elon Musk, he imagines a thing, like he puts on to, like he gives that project to the team, they build it out, he comes back and he communicates to the world about it. That is what all the
Absolutely.
top people in the world who make the most amount of money, the top 1% that we call them, right? That is what they do. So that is why, if you can't master communication, you will automatically be broke, because that is one of the most important skills of all time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that, right? Like communicators are the people who make the most money. Now,
Yeah.
even if we see everybody who has done more than a crore in a week or in a day, they're all like good communicators. If we see all the top coaches, Rohan, Siddharth Rashekar, Rajiv Talreja, Rahul Bhatnagar, right? Russell Brunson, Sam Owens, Dan Henry, Josh Potty, all of them. Now, my question to you, Shubh, is to become a great presenter, right? Like inverted thinking, like how Warren Buffett's friend, Charlie Munger, I think you must be following him. He tells, then knowing how to reach the goal, what are all the ways invert that so that we don't basically do that. Now, what have you seen when it comes down to someone who is presenting in a webinar or like challenge? What are the mistakes few people do? That's why they are not able to make a lot of impact, lot of money, and lot of lot of leverage, right? Whereas some people they are able to pull off $100,000 to way up to like even $1 million within like 3 4 days, right? How
Yeah.
do you think it is possible?
Yeah, really good question, man. In fact, just 2 weeks back, we broke all the records in India. We did 13.3 crores in a 4-day period, right?
Wow,
With the high ticket.
amazing! Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. But it's a really good question that you asked. And there are a lot of pieces that people do in a wrong way, right? The first piece, which might sound silly, but it is what it is people really want to sell. Like people enter the room to sell people. And that's the worst thing anybody can do, because when you enter an selling arena with the mindset of like, oh, I want to pull maximum sales out of this room, the thing that comes out of your mouth is called commission breath, right? The energy is more on like, oh, I want something from you, right? Like I want to take money from you. And when you go ahead with that perspective that, oh, I want to do this much in sales, or I want to do that much in sales, or whatever, and that is your single focused goal, chances are you never do well, because what comes out of you automatically, because this is energy you're talking about, is
It's
commission breath.
manifesting. It
Yeah, yeah.
manifests.
Right, and it's commission breath, and you start saying things that are not true, and maybe you start saying things that doesn't look good, sound good, but you're just saying them to bring more and more sales, right? And people just get to know, man. Like one of the biggest mistakes people do is people think people are stupid, but like, and especially marketeers, right, man, worst thing, they think people are stupid, right? That's why they do all these fake scarcities and all these things. But people are not dumb, right? We are in the generation of TikTok and Instagram economy, AI, and all these things. But again, coming back to the point, they're not stupid, they are very smart, right? And you should not play with their smartness, right? That's one of the most important things. And you should not enter the arena with the perspective of selling, oh, I want to sell more, right? One of the biggest common mistakes people do. And but if you don't enter the arena with the selling mindset, then what do you enter it with? The
Giving.
mindset that you enter it with is by breaking beliefs. See, a person is over here, a person wants to go over here, right? The path is very simple. What is complicated is their own brains, right? What is complicated is themselves, right? But they have a lot of beliefs in their mind that is stopping them to come over here. I say the simple analogy, Akshay, if Elon Musk gave you this big of a book, right, on how to build a copy paste Tesla, and he just hands over that book to you, do you think will anybody be able to build another Tesla?
No,
No, no, right? But he literally gave you all the information, right? But you still can't build it. Why is that? See,
because
because
of the
it's not about
mindset.
information. It's not about the information, right? It's about the
Yep.
beliefs that they have. Like, I cannot do it. I don't think I can manage a team. I don't have that much money. I don't have that much time. What will this person say? X, Y, Z. All the beliefs, the fears, the worries that are there inside them, right? That is the only thing that is not like stopping them to achieve the goal. So the one and only thing that you need to do in a presentation, man, is you need to enter the arena with the whole mindset of, like, what can I do to be able to shift their beliefs in the easiest and the fastest way possible? How can I shift their beliefs permanently, and how can I crush their old identity, bring them into a new identity, and that's it, my job is done, right? Like, if you just focus on that, you're good, you're really good, right? And the second biggest mistake people do is they start teaching, right? They
Mm.
start teaching in a webinar, they start teaching in a challenge, and that's the most terrible mistake of all time, right? What do you mean by this? Like, imagine, Akshay, if I'm selling an Instagram coaching program, right? I teach you how to build an Instagram following or whatever it is. And now let's say, Akshay, the few of the beliefs and the fears that you have or the audience might have is like, one of the beliefs you have is like, I'm shy. Second belief is like, what if nobody listens to me? Third belief is, oh, my ex-girlfriend dumped me because I look ugly. What if everybody comments some stupid things on my reel? Fourth thing, like,
Mm.
what will my cousins say? Will they laugh at me? Blah, 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 blah. If these are all the current fears, beliefs, and worries that you have right now, and let's say you come on my webinar or event or whatever, and I start teaching you about Instagram, well, this is how you post it, and this, like, you post at 4 p.m. every single day, and I start teaching you all the tactics, will that matter at the end?
No.
And then I give you my so-called amazing offer. Will you buy that? Yes or no?
No.
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 Why? Is it because of the content? No.
Mm.
It's because of the beliefs that you have, that I cannot do it. I cannot grow. What will that
Absolutely.
person say? What will this person say? I am shy in front of camera. I don't know how to edit. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So what people do is they start going and teaching a lot of stuff in the webinars and the events, like, well, this is how you edit the reel, and this is how you post the reel, and blah, 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 right? That technical, tactical stuff, which will kill all of the sales, right? All of the sales, right? But what you need to do is breaking their beliefs, shifting their identities, and teaching people how to think, right? These are the only two elements you need to focus in a high converting presentation. It's just these two things only, right? In fact, if you come to me and if you ask, like, Shubh, what are the only two things that you will do in a presentation and you can't do anything else, is these two things, I would say. First one is identity shift, and second one is teaching them how to think, right? I can sell any product, even in my sleep, at any price and crush conversions, not because I know more about the product, but I know the mechanism and the fundamentals of selling at mass, right? So, yeah,
Absolutely.
these are the two most core important things and mistakes that people do.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, right? It's all about like breaking the belief pattern, right? Like limiting beliefs. I can't do it. I'm not good for it. I'm not a good communicator, and showing them you can do it. You have the potential, right? All they have to do is put in the work and effort.
I like to
And
correct you over here, not showing them,
okay,
having them tell themselves,
yes,
right? Because when you say something, it is this important, but when they say it to themselves, it's this important, right?
absolutely.
So you need to structure your presentation in a way where they go and they're like, huh,
Hmm.
maybe I can make money from Instagram, right?
Right, right.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing. And Shubh, yesterday I was actually taking notes also. I was listening to David Phillips, right, who is one of the world's greatest presenter. And he was
Right.
telling there, like I just saw a chart which was like a periodic table, right? Like in chemistry, 110, 120 different body languages, posture, and everything. And I believe the world's best communicators like Tony Robbins, who was like 30 years consecutively one of the world's best personality development business coaches. He follows 70 to 80 things in that, right? Can you tell us what are the different rules one has to basically follow, like body language, how they have to speak, the tonality, how the gestures, the way how they have to ask questions? What are the most important things?
Nice, man. You're asking really good questions.
Yeah.
Good question. A lot of things that comes into play when you need to like keep in mind when you do a stage presentation is first thing really comes down to your stage craft, right? Like how are you moving and how are you making your hand moves and how are you looking in the eyes and like all these things. That's the first thing, the stage craft. The second thing is the tonality. And when I speak slow, you tend to pay more
More
attention,
attention.
right? And when I speak fast, like a lot of things goes out of your brain and like goes at the top of your brain. And when I take pauses, you take a minute to reflect on that, right? So, and there are three types of tonality. I can talk about that if you want.
Sure.
But one of
You
the
can.
things is speechcraft. Like how do you really go and like use all of your body actions and angles and the movement of your body to be able to make people energetic, right? If I'm like this, audience will automatically be like this, right? But
Yep.
when I'm like this, the whole audience is going to be like this, right? That is why people think dancing and all these things is crazy. But that's why Tony Robbins, the moment he enters the arena, he makes everybody stand up, raise up, jump, and dance. It's because
And
he
makes everyone claps like
yeah,
this.
makes everybody claps, right? Because
Yep.
like, why is that? People don't understand this. Why is that? It's because he wants the audience physiology and the frame to be shifted. For example, if you're just randomly sitting in a room, you're like, oh, like what should I eat at the dinner, right? And the question would be like, what would that person be thinking about me? Oh, why is that person staring at me? XYZ, right? And the frame and the focus is not the right direction. So the moment Tony enters the room, he makes everybody stand up. He makes everybody just dance, just go crazy with some high intensity music and everything. It's because he activates their physiology, right?
Mm.
Then if you see in all the 3 days or 4 days or Date with Destiny 6, 7 days, Tony is always energetic. You'll never see Tony even for a single second just like this or resting or whatever it is, because
Yep.
where energy flows, like the people are gonna flow with that energy, right? Like
Yep.
where focus flows and energy flows as well, right? And that is why Tony makes people do all of these stuff, and that is why hand movements are something very very important, right? So stagecraft, first thing, right? And again, you need like a good space when you're talking and everything. Second thing is tonality. As I told, there are a lot of types of tonality. First one is the sage tonality, right? Sage is like this. It's like when I talk up and when I go down, and when I go up and when I go down, and when I go up and when I go down. It's like this modality, right? That is called
Yep.
a sage tone. Second one is called an authoritative tone. It's like when I'm really really talking about something, like when I go in an aggressive mode. You know what? This is how it works, right? When I raise my voice a little bit, I lean in front and I just give a reality check to the audience. And you know what? This is your fault. It's not nobody else's fault, right? XYZ, whatever it is. That's a little bit of like a warrior tone, right? Like a warrior and an
Yep.
authoritative tone. Third one is the confused tone. Uh, I, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if this will work for you, but I'll show it to you regardless. Right? It's a little bit of confused tone, right? I don't know if you've seen me any of my selling environments. I use all of these tones a lot, right? Like especially Sage is 70% of my presentation. The warrior tone is like 20% of my presentation, and the 10% is the confused state, right? Because like whenever I put down a statement, I know there's a question in people's mind, and the next question I tell them the question with the confused tone. Well, you might be thinking about it like this, but it's not that, it's this, right? Whatever it is. So these are the tones that we play with. And a third thing, biggest mistake is people don't prepare, man. That's the truth, right? Amateurs wing it and professionals prepare, right? Like again, as I said, like we have workbooks and we have all these notes written out for every single event that we do, and we just have to follow this particular thing, right, that we have. And you just like every single thing for mine is like written down. I don't go and fluke. I don't go and say any random stuff. I don't go and blabber any random stuff. Like like in my event at day number 2, at let's say second hour, if I say a story, you come to my next event, it's the same time I say the same story. Like whenever I say new story, like, is this the first time I'm telling that new story? Probably not. Right? Even in Tony's UPW, you go like wherever he takes, drinks the water and laughs and he cries. That is exactly where next UPW does the same thing again. You know what I mean? So it's a
Absolutely.
pattern, man. It's like they like again, best of best communicators, they have one good presentation and they say it over and over and over again like a million times. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Over here, I have a question. When someone is using the same presentation over and over and over again, like example, Tony Robbins, since 30 years he's doing, he comes in the same format, he claps, he does it. Now, somebody who has attended that presentation or like session before, for the second time, if he does the same thing and teaches the same thing, don't he get bored? Don't he want to learn something new?
The answer is yes, and the answer is no. I'll tell you why. Because
Mhm.
man, this is too advanced and not to be revealed. But I'll just let it out. Tony Robbins, right? He doesn't give any value. He doesn't give any value because I know it because I know how persuasion works. And the person who writes Tony's events, he has coached me one on one. So I really know
Wow.
what goes behind all these events and presentation. Every single word that comes out of Tony's mouth is to be able to make you buy his product. No matter what's the event, UPW, Date with Destiny, Business Mastery, every single word is chosen very carefully. So the question is, do people get bored? The answer is yes, and the answer is no. I'll tell you why not, why they don't get bored. Because when you step in that arena, what he's doing is he's breaking that belief again. So you're like, oh, this is amazing, right? So out of 10 things, you might get 6 things and you might feel good again. Because humans are very like very arrogant in that nature. Like if I tell you to break a belief, you won't break it immediately. You need a lot of time for you to be able to do that because humans' tendency is they go back to their comfort zone again. So when they listen to Tony after let's say a long period of time, they feel energetic and they feel enthusiastic again, right? And in fact, this is a test I've done with my audience myself. I took a group of people, couple thousands of people who have attended my events already, the same stuff. I re-invited them to the same event and conversions were still the same, right? Like 20-25% or something, like still the same conversions. It's because now they're feeling that energy and that emotions again, man, right? So it's about that. And yeah, for people who attended more than 3 times, 4 times, for them, it's a little bit repetitive. But you need to also understand if they're attending it for the fourth time, they still have the problem and they still not bought your stuff. But that means there are some part of your presentation that might make them buy. Like nobody is just like sitting empty to be able to listen to your presentation again and again and again. If you have a certain set of problems that is not being solved, that is when you come back to my events. Does that make sense? So
Absolutely,
one of the
absolutely.
things
It makes sense.
yeah.
Right. And I truly believe once we crack the code, we have to do it again and again and again instead of being too creative, trying to come up with new things. Right. Whatever we have, whatever has worked, try to repeat it again and again. Love that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sure, when it comes down to storytelling, right? Like Russell Brunson in his book .com Secret Expert Secret tells like origin story, hook story offer, right? How does one has to basically go about with his origin story so that people in the audience while they are presenting they are able to relate and connect? What are the most important factors of it?
Okay, good question. I'll give you the most important line, right? If people
Hmm.
want, they can write it down. Never tell a story without a point, and never make a point without telling a story. Okay. The
Wonderful.
second thing is your story is not your story. Your story is their story wrapped up in your story. What do you mean by this? See, when you go out there and you talk about your story, that's the terrible mistake. That's the worst mistake you'll ever do. Your story is not your story. Your story is their story wrapped up in your story. Okay. So, again, and as I said, the first thing, never tell a story without a point and never make a point without telling a story. Right now, why did I say these two things? Because these are the fundamentals of storytelling, right? And when you go like Akshay, have you ever been to a party where an uncle comes to you and walks down to you and he just talks about all these random things that you never even asked about, and he just bores you just by talking about him? Well, I went to this place and this happened and blah blah blah. He just talks about himself for a long time and you're like bored as fuck and you're like, I want to get out of this place. Have you been in an environment like that? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Because
We
the
are not
person.
able to relate or connect with that. He just
Point
talks
one, not
about
able to
himself.
feel. Point two, not be able to connect. Point three is because the person is always talking about me. And write this down. Nobody apart from your mom cares about your story, right? Nobody apart from your mom cares about your story. So do not be that person. Do not be that uncle of the party, right? Because even if you go to people's webinars, they start talking about themselves like me. I've done this and I've done this and blah, 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 blah. And that's the terrible mistake, right? You never do that. Like, yes, you talk about yourself, but you instantly switch to the audience. For example, Akshay, you see, there was a time when I was a young kid. I was just learning the whole art of like how to make it online and everything. And by the way, at that time in my room, I had a chart of all the billionaires, right, in a circular way. I had my picture in the middle, and I've written this: "Watch me, I'm coming." Because one of my goals was to like becoming a billionaire, and like one of my goals, like when I was young, was to become the richest person on this planet. But every single person, including my aunt, including my neighbors, including my friends, whenever they walk into my room, they used to mock me. And this got to me, like this thought. I had a thought in my mind, like, have you ever been in a position where you see you're trying to do something good and you're trying to do something better, your friends and your society and your neighbors and the media is just trying to pull you down? How many of you guys have felt that? See, what did I do here? I started with I, but I instantly shifted to you. And now you're like, yeah, man, like this is too
It's me.
relatable. Yes, because everybody has been in this position where they try to do something better, but their families and blah, 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 they try to pull them down. So I'm using a relatable story. We call this as a relatable story parables, right? Like I started with mine. You see, this was my thing, and everybody pulled me down. But have you ever been in a place where you have tried to do something good and you really want to upskill and make your income a little bit higher? And at that time, you see your friends, your family, everybody telling you, like, are you crazy? They're trying to pull you down. How many of you guys felt that? Amazing, right? So this is like me connecting with them. Okay, so yeah, man, like it's a whole framework of from me going to you. Then we make them imagine a scenario, right? Then we make a point, then we make a soundbite, right? Soundbite is that one tweetable, repeatable. For example, the point is this, like for example, the point is it's not about what the society says, it's about how capable you are, right?
Mm.
And then we make a soundbite. What is a soundbite? Soundbite is a tweetable, repeatable. And for example, Tony Robbins says if there are no roots, you won't get the fruits, right? So you need to make your roots strong. At that time, people are like, "What? This is crazy," because we, from the young age, have been processed with this whole thing of storytelling, right? You've been in your mother's arms and your grandma's laps, and like you've just been listening to a lot of stories. But human love stories, but when they're connected with themselves, right? That's the most important part. And there's one more advanced tactic called soundbite stack. For example, like Tony Robbins said that quality of your communication comes down to, like, the quality of your life comes down to the quality of your communication. Jim Rohn said that if you have something good to say and you can say it a lot of times, you'll become rich. When Shubh says that, the third one, this is a soundbite stack, right? This is, I'm stacking my thing at the last, right? And Shubh says, if you have one good presentation, and if you have one good offer, and if you can find the right people to sell it to, you'll become a millionaire. What am I doing here? I'm borrowing the ego, right? First, I talked about Tony Robbins, then I talked about Jim, then I instantly talked about myself. So in people's mind, the authority goes higher. So these are just the ancient bits of storytelling.
Absolutely, absolutely loved it. I truly believe from a small 7-year-old to all the way until 90-year-old, everybody loves stories, right? from childhood, I was like every day before I sleep, my mom has to tell me a new story. Only then I used to go
Right.
to sleep, or else I used to be awake and playing. Now,
Right.
sure, when it comes down to a presentation, we have to put out like a lot of micro stories and everything. Now, how do we come to know which story at which place we have to tell? Because everybody would have gone with life series of event, good thing, bad thing, frustrating thing, and everything. How do we know? Okay, while I'm explaining this concept, like example, high ticket offer, this story or like this example or this anecdote, I can give at this point of time, right? We may know so many things. How do we know which one is the best and the best time we have to put on?
Coming back to the same thing, never tell a story without a point and never make a point without telling a story. Let's say one of the points that you want to tell to the audience, that it's not about working hard, it's about working with leverage. I can tell a story about my life where I was working hard and I didn't get the result, and I instantly shift to them, right?
Yeah.
You see, there was a point in my life where I was working in a job. Everybody around me just hated me, right? I was working really hard, maybe till 2 a.m. in the morning. I used to see the clock is ticking, and it says 1:56 a.m. that day. See, I'm making you imagine that whole scenario as a set, right? So
Right.
when you go into
Making
specific,
someone visualize.
yes. So that night, so I'll give you a simple framework. I was in this place, I was doing this thing, and it felt like this. This is a simple three-step for you to tell like any story, right? I was in this place, I was doing this thing, and it felt like this. I felt horrible. I felt like I'm trapped. I felt ashamed. I felt that I am in a dark place. I felt that nobody could help me. You see, all these trigger words, right, that you can use. Um, so it's the same thing. I still remember that day I was in a job and I looked at the clock and it was 1:56 a.m. I was still working in the office. I was tired. I got up. I wanted a coffee. I went and I got a coffee and my boss entered the office. He saw that I'm not working and I'm just drinking the coffee and he started yelling at me. He is like, this is why we pay you. This is why we pay you salary. You know what? You are fired. And I couldn't tell anything, but he didn't know that I was working for so long. And that got me wondering, have you ever been in a situation in your life where you're just trying to do everything? You're working hard, you're literally doing all the thing all the other gurus are saying you to do, but the results are disappointing. But every morning, whenever you wake up, you see your bank account, you're just not happy. See
Hmm.
what I did over here? I
Absolutely.
connected them while telling my story. Then now, after telling this, now I make a point, and the point is, it's not about working hard. It's about working with leverage. So I made a point. Now I'll make a soundbite. And when I do that, people go crazy, and it's like, this is amazing because I just broke one of their beliefs.
Hmm.
Got my point?
Absolutely, absolutely loved it. And sure, many people in India, when they see this Western marketers like Russell Branson, Sam Owens, Dan Henry, they're all selling like high ticket offer $25,000, $50,000, and like private client like $100,000. Now, some of them have these questions. I'm from India, right? Like the price parity, it's US 85 rupees is like one US dollar, right? In Indian rupees. Now, how can people go in India, and what have you seen is the normal high ticket price range in India, and how people also can do it? Because most people only think only low ticket is what works in India. High ticket, nobody can buy, no one has the money, and all those things.
Right, right. It's funny people say that, man, because yeah, we just made like so much money with high ticket. And I tell this to people like, I was in a room of 15 people, just 15 people, and I sold seven of them for a 9 lakh rupee offer. Right?
Wow.
Like, stop complaining that I don't have an audience and like blah, 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 blah. Right? I was just in a room of 15 people, not like hundreds of people, 15 people. I sold seven of them for a 9 lakh rupee offer. Right? So it's like people start blaming, like, Akshay, whenever people start blaming to circumstances, it's just they are not good at it. That's the reality. And coming down to your question, what's high ticket in India? There's nothing like, oh, 1 lakh is high ticket, 5 lakhs is high ticket, 50K is high ticket. The rule of high ticket is very simple. आपकी ऑडियंस का जो एनुअल इनकम है, like the annual income of your audience, 10 to 15% of that is high ticket. So depending on the market you go, for example, imagine you're selling a parenting course in Bihar. Do you think people will buy that? Right?
No,
Chances are no, right? Why is that? I'm not mocking the culture. They're amazing people. They're fantastic, amazing people. But the
because
culture
the
over there
earnings
is not
per
that.
income per
Yeah.
capita is like
Correct,
less.
correct. And the culture is not like that over there, right? The connection between a kid and a father and a mother is just not deep. And in fact, I make this joke, like whenever you go and sell a parenting course in Bihar, they would be like, "You give me 1 lakh and I'll give my kid to you." Like, don't ask me for money, right? It's that kind of culture over there, right? So again, it's like you can never sell that. And now you come and say like, "Oh, Shubh, ticket doesn't work," because you're selling to the wrong people, right?
Right.
So yeah, I couldn't, like, I just like, and in fact, anybody says like more than a lakh is high ticket or whatever, like, is just full of crap. Because like a person who is, let's say, not doing good and he has a basic salary of 20,000 a month, is a lakh, like, will he buy a lakh rupee product? No, right? Unless it's like a deep burning desire, like, he won't, right? So like, he will, but you just need to know how to sell to him. But what I'm trying to say, if you go to a mass, if you have like thousands of those guys, like, chances are just a few percentage of my people might buy, and a lot of people might not buy. And for another example, let's say I have a room of 100 people, all of these guys are making 30 lakhs a year. Selling a 1 lakh rupee product easy? It's a joke, man. It's just, you can just go and say some random stuff and you can sell it if you know the fundamentals of selling, right? So yeah, that's how this works, man. Like, it's not about if any specific amount is high ticket. It's typically 10 to 15% of your audience's income, annual income, is the high ticket. But yeah, we go and we always, like, people in my community, all of them, like at least 90% of them charge more than a lakh, because we're just targeting better markets.
Absolutely loved it. Now it's all about like making sure that if one is earning like 1 crore per annum, easily he can pay you 10 lakhs, which is 10%, which
Easy.
is fair enough.
Yeah.
Now there is a rule in marketing, right? Like 97% people don't take action. It's only like 3% of the world is ready to take action at any given point of time. Now, how do we exactly identify them, and where are these people, right, who can take action? Because many times we see, even though somebody wants it, but they don't have money, they keep on watching webinar after webinar, workshop after workshop. They watch your video, they know you, they trust you, and everything. But when it comes down to paying money, they are hesitant.
Okay, very good question. I want to break this question in two parts. One is trust triangle. I'll talk more about that. And another point is people just suck. Whenever anybody comes onto a webinar, right? And whenever somebody is hesitant to paying them money, what is happening over here? What is not there? Trust.
Trust.
Trust
Yeah.
is not there. Yes. Let's say your mom asked to you for 10,000 rupees. You'll just close your eyes and you'll give it to her, right? Why
Yep.
is that? Because of trust.
Family bonding. Yeah.
Trust,
Yes.
right? Comes
Trust.
down to trust. But
Yes.
let's say a friend of yours who you only knew in, let's say, 10th grade, and out of 7 years, out of the blue, is coming and he's like, Akshay, I need 20,000 rupees. What will you do?
No.
You're like, yeah, no. Why?
Yep.
It's because there's no trust.
Correct. Mm.
Okay. And trust is not something that is pre-built. You need to build that. People think
Mm.
if I just go on a webinar, say a bunch of crap, people would buy. And that's why their conversions suck. Man, we do 20-25% conversions on high ticket, on cold audience, people who don't
Wow.
even know me. And we don't do like L1, L2 and all these guys. It works, but I know how to sell, so why do go through all that pain? So I get people on an event, a 3-day event, and I just sell high ticket direct. Right? I don't like nurture and all these jazz. It works. Just if you know how to sell better, you can just sell high ticket directly. And we still close at 20-25%, which is unheard of in this industry. People don't even convert at 20% for a low ticket, right?
Mm.
So, and the reason again is like, they don't know how to build that trust. And whenever somebody is like hesitant, you've just not built enough belief in them, and you've not built enough trust in them to be able to go ahead and move, right? And now, how do you build this trust? The big question, right? So I call this as a trust triangle. Okay, there are three types of trust that you need to inject in an audience to be able to unlock the buying state of them, right? The first one at the top is called the trust in you as the speaker. Like, you need to be able to build in trust in you as a speaker. The second part of the triangle is you need to build a trust in the path and the product. That your path is the best path for somebody to go from point A to point B. And the third thing, man, which nobody will tell you, because 90% of the people, they don't even know about it. And the 10% of the people who know about it, they think it's too dangerous to give it out. And do you want to know what that is? Yeah. The
Yep.
third thing is called building the trust in themselves.
Hmm.
And I've reviewed so many webinars. I write all the webinars of the biggest names that you know. So I've reviewed, believe me, man, so many events, webinars at this point of time. I'm a nerd, right? Absolute nerd. Like, I have 15 million books in my house just about state selling, copy, and everything. But um, when I review it, people just don't do the last part. It's like making them trust in themselves. Do you remember that Instagram story I was telling you about? Like, if you have all these beliefs, and if I sell you an Instagram product, will you buy it? No, because you don't trust in yourself at the end. So the stats is, Akshay, is 80% of your audience is an inferior audience. That means 80% of your audience won't have trust in themselves. They'll think, hey, Akshay is awesome. That whole thing is awesome, but I don't trust myself. I don't think I can get the result. I don't think it could work for me. I've always failed in my life, and I've tried this and I've tried that, and I don't think this is also going to work for me. Right? Blah, 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 blah. Right? All these excuses, right? They just 80% of your audience doesn't have trust in themselves. The 20% of your audience is a superior audience, right? They think it's awesome, but they try to do it by only, you know what, let me do it on my own, then I'll come back to you, right? That's
Yes.
20% of your audience. So for them, you need to build enough doubt that you could not do it without me. But for the
Hmm.
80% of the audience, this is 80% of your sales, man. It's making them trust in themselves, right? And how do you do that? It's by stories and breaking their beliefs and breaking their patterns, right? Which is the most important thing you need to do in an event. And yeah, that's how you do it, breaking their fears, worries, beliefs, patterns. And this whole thing is called an identity. You break
Right.
and crush their current identity, you move them into a new identity, right? And that is when you unlock. And when you do all these three things together, you build the trust in you as a speaker, you build the trust in the path and the product. And when you build the trust in themselves as the human, as the end user, what unlocks is called a buying state. Now they're ready to buy. Now when you go and make a good offer, they are just sold. All right. So your whole event and presentation should be designed with this triangle format, like making them trust in you, making them trust in the path and the product, and making them trust in themselves.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Got it. Wonderful. And my next question to you, Shubh, is like basically once it's all about like words, right? People, whether somebody getting married to us or like breakup, it's words. Someone becoming a president, or like somebody not becoming a president, it's words. And in Shark Tank, somebody getting millions of dollar funding, it's all because of words. Now, if I were to ask you, what are the words one has to use in order to persuade the principals, right? If one has to get married to the person who they love, and second is like basically like they are on a webinar, and what are the principles, right? Like one, two, three principles. If one uses, they can like skyrocket their conversions.
Yeah. Again, man, there are no specific words that you can use, right? The core of a fundamental, a high converting pitch, Akshay, it all comes down to how are you breaking their beliefs, right? And how are you, those are the words, those are the powerful words. For example, making them imagine it, making them feel like it. For example, like I have an event in January, it's an offline event. A lot of my clients, or like my inner circle clients, are flying in over there. We'll have a room of 40, 50 people there, and I'm going to sell them something, right? It's a higher ticket program for 10 lakhs and something. And how do I do it? If you ask about that product, it's like it's more of a done for you and a little bit of one-on-ones with me and all these things. Now that product suite is going out for what, 9.5, 10 lakhs. How do I sell it? Right? I'll give you a simple example. The words, right? How do you use the right words, right? The product is done for you. So I just give a simple comparison between a duck and a horse. Between a what? Between a duck and between a
And of course,
horse, right? Now, see, duck is a bird that does everything all by itself. Like it flies, it walks in the ground, it lives in good water zone, it also lives in ugly water zone, muddy area, and all these things. But the horse just does one thing and one thing alone. What does horse do?
it
It
just runs.
runs. It just runs. Like, have you ever seen horse do anything else? No, right? It
No.
just runs. Yes. So the comparison is between a duck and the horse. Now, Akshay, imagine a billionaire. Whom would a billionaire bet on? Would a billionaire bet on a horse or would a billionaire bet on a
Horse.
duck? Awesome.
Horse.
If
Yeah.
like, what does a billionaire wants to get in his house? Like, what kind of animal does a billionaire or a rich person want to get in his house? Is it a horse or is it a duck?
Horse.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, which animal has the most amount of authority? Is the duck or is it the horse?
Horse.
Awesome. So you're saying me that horse only does one thing and that just runs and it has the most authority. People love horses the most and people bet millions on horses. Versus duck does everything and yet nobody wants duck. We just like to look at it and we just go ahead. Why is that? The principle is if you try to do everything by your own, you'll always fail. See, but horse just does one thing and does it perfectly and it runs. That is why people bet on horses. So, you as a person, you as a coach, are you trying to do everything all on your own? Right? And chances are that is why you're failing. Right?
Hmm.
So, the principle is you need to find the ways of leverage. Like, you need to become a horse. Right? And you just need to do one thing that you are good at and delegate the rest. What's the
Absolutely.
principle I give here, right? You need to just do one thing and delegate that. And what's my product? It's a done for you. You see how this
Hmm.
this is connected? So
Right.
these are the principles and these are the words we give to people. And this is all not by fluke. You cannot just go and like randomly say some stuff and expect sales, right? This is all scripted. This is all a skill, a science, right? That you can learn, right? And that's how you go ahead from there.
Absolutely loved it. And sure, someone is like beginner, right? Like who is just getting started. They don't have much authority. They don't have much name, much following, and everything. Now in India, there are like so many coaches. Now in the world also, there are like so many coaches. Now, how can one basically position themselves as an authority and a brand and like outshine the competitor? Now imagine somebody has worked 5 years, 10 years, and he's making 1 crore in a launch in a week or a month. Now somebody who has come completely new, right? What, but he has some good skills, he's very intelligent, high IQ, very smart. What he has to do to outshine his competitor? And secondly, my question is, some people, as you told, like high ticket, 5 lakh, 9 lakhs, one is charging, whereas another person, there is someone in the same country who charges 10 times or like 20 times lesser price. Now when the person, when we tell them this is what the price, they will tell, we know someone who can do it at 20 times lesser price, right? How do we resolve that issue?
Okay, good question. It's funny, man. Good, good, good. You're getting some goods out of me. Cool. What was the first question again?
My first question is the premium, this thing, like the
How you
branding,
build
how
a
to
position in
outshine
the
the
market.
competitor.
All right, all right, okay. So the way you build any like a really good positioning in a marketplace really comes down to the sales process that you're using, right? For example, I also started as a brand new coach in this industry, right? And I think within a year, we instantly pulled out all the things and we really are at the top now. How did we do that? It's your authority is built through your sales process. What do you mean by that, right? Is if you have a sales process that automatically builds the trust, builds the authority, you're done. For example, we do what we call as reverse funnels, right? That is what we are known for and everything. And what does reverse funnels do? It builds the maximum trust in the least amount of time. And let's say, Akshay, you spend 3 days with me or 5 days with me, and I start breaking all of your beliefs one at a time. What is a brand? Brand is the like what people think about you is called brand, correct? Yes or no? Like
Absolutely.
what other
Yes.
people think about you is a brand, right?
Correct.
So, and
Yes.
you know the secret is you can architect that. You can literally architect what you want other people to think about you. Isn't that funny? Most people don't even know that. So, brand is not automatically built. You build it with the words and with the principles and with the values you choose to publicly advertise, right? And again, polarity is also one of the most important things. So in, let's say, in reverse funnels, when you do an event for, let's say, 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, and if a brand new person comes into the thing and you really know how to speak well, and if you break all the objections one at a time, if you smash, if you shift their identities, and when you shift their identities, they get into a feeling of buying mode, right? And when you teach them how to think, the new way of thinking, they really are feeling like that new person. So when that thing comes, trust and the brand automatically builds, because they are like, oh shit, all this time, all this long, I've been thinking that I cannot do it, I am shy, but suddenly this guy comes in, I don't know who this guy is, his name is Akshay, and this guy shows me that I can do this and I can do this in like in 2 days. Like, is he crazy? And now see what happened over here is it's a brand that's being built. I'm positioning you with a separate tag, like, oh, this guy just unlocked all the barriers for me, right?
Absolutely.
So that builds a brand. And when you're able to do that at scale, that's the best thing ever, right? Like, like I've spoken in the rooms of 3,000, 5,000 people in an event. We just did a repitch for a client of mine. I pulled in an additional 2.1 CR in 51 minutes, right? And just 51 minutes, people didn't even know me. But I came in, did the repitch, 51 minutes, pulled an additional 2.1 CR from the room that has already been sold to, right? And
Amazing.
how did I do that, right? It's because I know like what kind of words I need to say, what kind of objections I need to break, what kind of new identities I need to insert inside them for the result. The result being they need to buy this product. And when you're able to do that in the right way, they automatically go and buy, right? So it's a sequence. So brand is like, what does that person think about me? It's called branding, all right? And you can choose to make them think what you want them to think. That's the best part. You can architect a brand. You can architect your identity in front of their eyes. That's it.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And Shubh, the next question is like I was asking when somebody is charging 10 lakhs, there is someone they have seen who can do it at 50,000 also. And they have this question after we are explain them, why should I come to you? One more person, he can do the same thing for 20x lesser price, right? How do we overcome that objection?
Yeah. Do you want to know my answer?
Yep.
Yeah. I just say go to them. Like I don't even bargain. I don't even do all these crap. I'm like, just yeah, good luck, man. Just go to them, because I don't need you. You need me. Like my life is good, bro. Like after this, I'm gonna still eat the same food. I'm gonna still wear the same clothes. I'm still gonna drive the same car. I'm still gonna take the
Yes.
vacation. My life doesn't change. I don't need you. Go to them, right?
Absolutely.
And the whole comparison of price, like you'll do it for 10 lakhs and somebody else will do it for 3 lakhs, it just doesn't work, right? For example, Akshay, have you ever been in a situation where you had two products in front of you, the second product is a little bit more expensive, but you wanted to buy that? Have you ever been
Yep.
in a situation like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
does that happen? It's because of the perceived value, man, right? And my simple thing is, you see, I'm just irritated by these so-called high-ticket coaches who go and charge low ticket, like they call themselves as an high-ticket coach and they go and sell it for 50 grand or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And it's fine, it's people, they do anything. But like, my simple question is, if I am a high-ticket coach and if I cannot charge high ticket,
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You
doesn't make
have to
any sense.
preach what you
Like, if
do.
somebody is
Right?
saying that they are a high ticket coach and they themselves are charging low, bro, that's the biggest red flag, and you just need to run as fast as possible, right?
Yeah.
So, because if they, like, it's funny because recently, right, we introduced a new product to our product line, and so really like a high ticket product, like a really high ticket product, right? I just showed that product to 7 people and 6 people bought. And it's a really high ticket price, by the way, right?
Wow.
And out of the 6 people, 3 people, like they were my community members, 3 people told me, Shubh, recently I started seeing this new guy who started talking about, oh, do events and do stage presentations, all these things. I'm like, okay, just go to him and just ask, how many stage presentations have you done? And that person has never done a stage presentation. Now he's telling that I'll teach you how to do a stage presentation. That's bullshit, right? And it's like, oh yeah, man, like, so again, when it comes to like, oh, that person is charging this much and I'm charging this much, never try to fight that. Just be like, it's fine, go ahead, right? Don't buy from me, right? Because when you start convincing them, they will never buy it. When you start, oh no, no, but we give you world class support, oh no, no, but I'm gonna be there even at midnight if you need me, right? All these jazz, they're still not going to buy because you're licking their ass, man. It's just not good, right? You're just lowering your reputation over there. And the higher the brand, the more prices you can charge. It's simple like that, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Right.
like, why does a Mercedes Benz Maybach, they charge like crores versus a normal Mercedes Benz, you can get it for like 50 lakhs, right? Three
Status.
crores versus 50 lakhs. It's the same Mercedes, but Maybach versus this, right? That is why people do. And we like charge 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs plus, we get percentage royalties attached to that. And yeah, there are rip-offs who can write your webinars, but what's the opportunity cost, Akshay? Right? What
Mhm.
is your opportunity cost of trying it with somebody else who hasn't done it as much as I've did, who doesn't have the track record that I do, right? And what are your chances of messing up over there? What is the opportunity cost? If you
Be
do a
very
launch,
high. Mhm.
you'll do like 10 crores, but if you do a launch with them, it'll be like what, barely anything, right? And but that's the confidence you need to come ahead with, right? But let's say, for example, somebody who's a brand new beginner, like how can he do it? Again, you need to have stack of proof, man. And in fact, I want to tell this story. One last story I want to conclude with is one of my clients, right? We quoted them 15 lakhs plus a percentage of the launch, which was going to be a very big launch. And they just told me that, Shobh, I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm not sure if this will work for me. I told them,
Mhm.
man, if it doesn't work for you, I'll put down 5 lakhs and send it to you. And I'll send that 5 lakhs just for wasting your time. Simple. And they're like, oh, if you're that confident, man, I'm in. And we just
Mhm.
like crushed that launch with a very big number, right? It's that confidence that speaks, right? Confidence that speaks. And that's how you make the game rolling.
That's wonderful. It's all about you. People see you and your results, what you can generate for them. Based on that trust, they will basically work with you, right?
Trust and results, Akshay. Trust and results. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was wonderful. And Shub, what are your favorite AI tools like you basically use in your day-to-day life for whatever work you're doing?
Yeah. So funnily, we have built our own AI for our
Hmm.
clients, for our inner circle clients. We give them it literally, like in a few clicks, it builds out the whole presentation, like day one, day two, day three, all the stories and all the bits and all the offers, and it builds out the whole thing. So we give it to our people on a regular basis. And in fact, yeah, man, I use it like it's a tool that we built internally. Like I use that every day. But apart from that, I love Claude. I don't know if you guys have heard about Claude,
Yes.
but Claude.ai, it's a brilliant tool.
A more
And
humanized way than ChatGPT, right? It gives a more humanized
yeah,
approach of
yeah, yeah,
working.
yeah. I don't really use like AI to write copy and all these things. Like we have copywriters in our team, they do it. But I use AI for research, right? If you'll see, like 90% of my utility in AI, it's all research, right? I'm like a nerd when it comes to research because I do not move ahead with research, man, because that's the most important thing. Like if you don't plan, you will fail, right? That's the simple thing. And
Absolutely.
I use AI in research, and these days there's new model called Chat GPT-o1, and it is
Mm.
phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving it. Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And Shubh, who are your top three role models, right? Whom you basically look up to, like your mentors, because of them, you are grateful and thankful for them to wherever you are right now.
Really good question. One is like, good question. I've never thought about this, you know. Yeah, I have a lot of mentors. I had a lot of mentors in my journey, and
You
everybody.
had to pick just three people, right? Who
Yeah, if I were
impacted
to
your
pick
life
three
to
people,
the highest level.
Tony Robbins is one of them, big time. I give a lot of my credits to Eli. Eli is one of my mentors. He has really helped me come through with stage selling and everything. Uh, and I think Tony is one of the biggest, man. I just admire the man a lot. Eli, and I think, yeah, Musk, man, Elon Musk. He just pulls, like, I read a lot of his books. I have read his stories, backstories, and everything. He's amazing. And Charlie Munger, of course. Charlie Munger's books and Charlie Munger's, like, the laws and philosophies of thinking. It's mind blowing. I love him. I love him. Greatest guy
Amazing.
of all. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah. These are the few. But I never really thought about this. It's just like every piece of my journey, I've had like different mentors helping me with different things. I never believe in this policy of like one mentor at a time. Like I have like a lot of mentors like working with me in all lot of areas of my life. So yeah.
That's wonderful. In fact, I met Eli in the webinar con event, which was like
Oh, right,
world's
right,
biggest
right.
conference, which happened in Florida,
Nice.
Ritz-Carlton last year. Anik
Yeah.
Singhal had invited me to the
Oh
US.
yeah,
I was
Anik
working
is a great
closely
friend,
with
man.
Anik.
Anik is a
Hmm.
great friend. We know each other for quite a long time now. Because again, I came from that software world. So yeah, nice.
Wonderful. And sure, what will be your top three books you would recommend everyone, right? If they want to go to that next level.
Good. U Square is one of the book that is amazing. I just like read it like a month back. It's beautiful. 10x is better than 2x. It's a brilliant book. And Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Fuck, man, what a book! It's amazing. It's amazing. These are for your like general life and everything. Like Persuade Who Can't Be Persuaded. That's also another book which is fantastic when it comes to stage selling and everything. There's another book called Magical Words. Like you can also buy that, right? Like how do you make people say yes and whatever you want. So it's also an amazing book. But yeah. That's those are my few picks.
Absolutely loved it. Even I'm going to check out those books. And
Yeah.
Shub, tell us about if one has to launch a product or like a webinar, this thing challenge for 3 days, you will recommend them to run paid ads or like organic, right? Like if somebody is going to uh, go started and like how does it look like if
Okay.
they start working with you?
Okay. Good question. Man, the amount of times I've answered this question, these organic coaches, man, make me go crazy because they're like, organic is the thing. And I'm like, yes, organic can help you to maybe get to a lakh, 2 lakhs a month, but ain't no way you can get to 10, 15, 20 lakhs a month, a crore a month without paid ads, unless you are like Sadhguru or whatever, right? Like that just ain't gonna happen, man. Like, yeah, right. So, like, dude,
Even the best of the best people keep investing
they
on the
run
paid
ads,
ads,
yeah. So
advertisement,
people
everything, right?
think the ads is an expense or ads is too technical. Again, it's all beliefs, right? Like one of the things that I always do is I challenge my beliefs. Like I don't like, and I don't agree on whatever I say. Like it's funny because if I think I can't do it, I just don't agree on it. I'm like, I can't do it. It's all belief, right? It's the game of beliefs.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was talking to a billionaire friend of mine, I just asked him like how is this possible that a normal human to get a result it will take them 50 years and you just do it in like 2 months? How is that possible? And he literally asked this question to me. He's like, Shub, tell me how much money do you want to make in next 5 years? And I'm like, On the verge of 60 to 70 crores. He was like, okay, you know how a billionaire thinks? I'm like, yes, tell me how a billionaire thinks. He told me, billionaires think how I can do 60 to 70 crores in 6 months. And he said, I put myself in a frame. What if all of my kids, what if my wife, everybody are kidnapped? And the only way I can get them back is if I hit that goal. What would you do now? Right? It was like we put ourselves in this mental frame. It's called the gun to the head mindset. And yeah, and I don't know why I went on that rant. But coming back to your paid ads, you always need new blood coming into your business, new leads coming into your business, right? And I always tell this, Akshay, it's not the person who's the most smartest who will make the most money. It's the person who's the most visible will make the most money, right? And with organic, you limit your reach. Like you have a million followers, your stories might be viewed by 7-8% of the people, right? But with paid ads, it's not like that. You can just pump in money. In fact, I built my whole brand, my whole whatever the business is. We built it right from paid ads, like no organic, nothing. If you go to my organic, you'll have less than 1,000 followers, which is ridiculous, right? But we print crores and crores and crores of money every single month, every single year, right? Um, yeah, funny.
Absolutely
And I know
correct.
people who have 2 million followers and are broke. So it's that correlation, right? So you need 1,000%, you need paid ads unless you're a Sadhguru or unless you're Narendra Modi, which you're not. So you need paid ads, of course. Like maybe initially to get that couple of bucks here and there, your organic is good. But if you don't have any followers, and if you want fast, see, money loves speed. That's the most important
Correct.
fundamentals. Like if you want to get there fast, you need to put money in ads. And again, you can't go just put money in ads and expect it to come back. You need to have the
Correct.
right strategy. You need to have the right systems. You need to use the right words. You need to have the right offer. And at the end, you need to have the right sales process, not the funnel, the sales process, right? And when you have all these things combined, which we help you do, in the fastest time possible. In fact, we have one of the highest track records of success in this industry. So that is what we help people do. And yeah, that's how
Wonderful,
people
amazing.
get
And how many days does it take for you, Shubh, like to help someone help them launch a offer
less than
product
30 days.
online?
Less than 30 days. In our product, it's just 3 months. Our product, high ticket product, is just 3 months. We don't give lifetime access and all these things. In 3 months, we have this thing called a 30-day challenge. The moment they come in, next 30 days, they have to be out there, launch. Even if it sucks, you go out there and you do a launch. That's the thing. So, yeah,
Absolutely, they have to take imperfect action, right? And they have to
perfect.
showcase to the
Yeah,
world.
we made the process too easy, man, for them. Like we have all the AI tools that build their offers, build their presentations. We have all beautiful templates for them to just go click, deploy, launch. It's easy, right? It doesn't take a lot of effort for them to be able to do a launch. So we have made it as easy as humanly possible for them.
Amazing. And what is your vision for like 2025, right? Like how many people like you are looking to work, and until now, how many you have worked as well in the
True.
launches?
Like almost all the biggest names in this country we worked with. A lot of them I can't publicly name them because of NDA reasons, because they don't want us to reveal it and everything. But next year is the word of domination. Every single year I have one word that defines the year, right? Like domination and freedom is the I want to travel. I'm a very travel junkie, but this year I didn't get to travel a lot. I traveled, I think, just to three or four places. Didn't get to travel a lot because I was just in the business, building it, building the team, building the people who will build the business and everything. But yeah, it's done now, and it's time to go back to travel. In fact, I'm flying to Dubai again on 17th. It's just 2 days or something. I'm there for some 12 days having fun. And yeah, 2025 is all about domination and freedom, traveling and having a lot of fun.
Amazing, amazing. Love that, Shub. And last, finally, Shub, like how many hours do you work, right? Like people must be wondering, oh my God, this guy knows how to earn in crores. Does he work like 8 hours, 16 hours, or like 20, 20 hours? How many hours do you work in a day?
I think to be conservative, I pull in 3 hours average, 4 hours a day, if some good days, but 3 hours a day average, 3 to 4 hours a day average.
Wow, wow, that's incredible, right?
Yeah.
You are having the
This
time
come down
freedom,
because
money
okay,
freedom.
pretty good team and everything. They take care of a lot of things on my behalf. So a lot of my time just goes into strategy, and I just dump the strategy to the team, and they get to the implementation part. And a lot of my time goes into the private, like high level clients we work with, like the biggest names of this industry. Like I have to get personally involved there, write their presentations and everything. So a lot of my time goes there. So conservatively speaking, 3 hours a day. Some like any big days, maybe 4 hours a day or something. Yeah.
Amazing. How many team members do you have? Do you have a sales team or a virtual team?
Oh
And
no,
like,
man,
how do
no
you-
sales team, bro. The terriblest thing in this world is having a sales team. Bro, that's the worst mistake, right? Anybody can make. Like, I mean, it's not like you can't make money with it. I know people making a lot of money with that, crores with that as well. It's just what's your end goal? Like, I don't want to be sitting and babysitting and like feeding milk to the sales team, right? And like, I think like one of my friends said, like, if one guy goes through a breakup and like the next month his sales just like crashes like anything,
right?
I just have a better sales process that can sell without sales calls. So why do I need that? So a lot of my team comes down to funnel builders. We have copywriters in my team. We have operations guys. A lot of operations guys these days, because yeah, like when you sell a lot of your stuff, you need operations guys, right? So we have them. We have managed like two managers, right? One in marketing side, one in ops side. So I think our team is 7 people now, six or 7 people now. Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. That's amazing. And Shuk, for everyone who is aiming for 1 crore in the next year, they want to achieve it. How much should they have minimum mindset of like investing in the paid ads? Because a lot of people have that hesitance, right? How can I invest? They're so afraid of like investing because they
Yeah.
don't know what will happen.
Yeah, I told you, right? Recently, we just did a launch. We pulled in 13.3 crores in 4 days.
Oh
We
my
just
God.
spent like 6 lakhs on ads, right?
Crazy. Is it
Yeah,
real? 6 lakhs, 13
yeah, 6
crores.
lakhs on ads.
And
And
who
a
were that
lot of,
audience and how many people were there in that room
oh, we
to
had, I think 20, 30,000 people registered for that. On
okay.
the time of like pitch, we had like, again, it was a 22% close rate at that scale. We crushed that
Was it a
launch.
paid presentation or a free presentation?
Paid presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
You did
Paid
the
plus
pitch.
I did the repitch.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the repitch.
It was
So
for one of your clients, you basically
yeah,
help them,
yeah, one
right?
of my clients. Right.
Repitch means like you only give the script or like you also go and pitch in front of
Last day,
everyone.
I go and repitch their product to their audience. I am the one
Oh,
who's repitching their
okay.
product. Yeah, and we get
That's
a cut
wonderful.
out of that and everything. So paid ads, bro, again, it really works down on how good your skills are. Like for example, two people having the same car, like let's say a person B, both have Mercedes, but who will win the game is the person who knows how to manage the steering at speed, right? So it's like one person might go at speed, might hit somewhere, but another person will just know how to control it and how to turn it and reach to the direction in the safest way possible, right? It's that. And reverse funnels literally help you do that. Like I'll tell you, one of my clients who was broke, man, he was minus 50K when he joined us. And his first presentation, he just spent 20K on ads and he made 3.5 lakhs back. Second presentation, he made it way better. He spent 22K on ads and he made 9 lakhs back.
Wow.
Right. So it really comes down to like, how are you good? What kind of skills are you good at? And you need to invest on your skills. That is when you level up, right? So yeah,
Absolutely loved it. It's all about having the right people in the room, right offer, the right presentation, right? And the
that's
right
my favorite.
connections. If we have
There you
it,
go.
we go to the next level. That's amazing.
Easiest way out there to make any amount of money. Yeah.
Right. And I believe more and more people in India have to watch it. And uh, I believe you are truly doing super amazing thing, non-conventional thing. And that's what I believe. Instead of people and parents who is watching this also, instead of making your parent or like your child pursue to IIT or like IIMs, if they become great communicators, great persuaders, great speakers, they'll make more money than them, right? And Shubh is one of the great
Communication in
examples.
general. Communication.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Thanks, man.
final advice for everyone who is watching this at the Real Knowledge Club. What are the three skills? Like recently, if we saw even the chess master, right, who became the world chess champion, he from 12 years, I believe, like he dropped out his school and he only played chess. He became so good at it. If one has to earn crores, right, in every week or every month, what are the three skills one has to laser focus and become so good at it so that they can make a world a better place to live?
Master communication, number one, without a question. Master communication. Second thing is, do not believe whatever you think. That's the reality. People, in fact, Dan says this, like, it's not hard to becoming rich. It's hard to get out of your own way, right? Do not believe whatever you think, because whatever you think is limited in a box. You're limited in this box, and you can only think till over here, right? For
Yeah.
example, like the peak of the mountain is somebody else's lower, right? The least of the start path, right? So every big mountain has a big mountain, and every like, even if every peak has a peak, that's what I'm trying to say. So uh do not like believe whatever the beliefs that you have, like especially the worst beliefs. And third thing, man, just invest as much as you can in yourself, right? Sounds cliche, everybody says this, but nobody understands to the core. Just in last, I think, 12 months, you've spent more than 40-45 lakhs in just coaching, right? Myself, with the best people. There's one thing that I never cheap around is coaching, right? No matter what the price is, and if I want to learn something, I get the best of the best onboarded, because it just helps me shorten the curve, because I know what the time is worth, right, rather than money. And if you, let's say, what happens if you don't learn communication? If you don't, let's say, you don't go ahead and pay, let's say, 5 lakhs to a communication guy. I'm not saying you need to pay 5 lakhs, but whatever it is, like how much ever the amount is, you don't go and pay 5 lakhs to that person. You think you are losing that 5 lakhs, but what about the lost sales that you're going through right now? What about the problems you're going through right now? What about the business that you could not build right now? What about the next 3 years where you'll still be struggling, and you just won't find the right path, and you'll be irritated, struggling, and you just don't know what's the right path, and you'll at the end quit? What about that? Then this. So you're already
Absolutely.
losing a lot of sales. And this is just an example of communication, but it could be your life, it could be operations, whatever it is, right? I had to learn all of these things from scratch, like building a team. I'm the worst, terrible person to manage a team, but I'm learning it, right? It's all a science. It's all a skill that you can learn. So yeah, just go. And if you can't hire the best, because usually the best are the most expensive, if you can't do that, at least go deep, dig deep, buy all the books, buy all the courses, and just start learning every ancient bits of it. That's how you become really, really good at it. Not just buying it, doing it. One of the core philosophies in my coaching program is, I don't care if you get zero sales. I just want you to go out there and suck your ass. Like, I just want you to go out there and do a presentation. Even if 5 people show up, I don't care. Even if you suck, that's fine, because you can't randomly wake up one day and become Tony Robbins. That doesn't work. He's like, that person was out there for 40 years and he's Tony fucking Robbins now, right? So yeah, that's these are the three
Absolutely.
things.
Love that. I love that. Like self investment is the best investment. That's what even Charlie Munger's best friend Warren Buffett also tells, right? The
There
richest
you go.
person in the world. And
Right.
I truly believe you would have easily 10x, right? Your investment after investing
More than
45
10x.
lakhs.
More than 10x.
Yeah,
More than 10x.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful. I think that's more return than crypto or stock market or real estate or any other investment. Amazing,
Yeah.
brother. And sure, in future, if I organize a physical event in Bangalore, invite you as a speaker, would you be interested in joining us and like
Of
impacting
course,
people?
of course, brother. I'd be
Amazing.
more than happy to be there. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks.
And sure, for everyone who is watching this, if anybody wants to work with you or something, right, be a part of your team. What are the things like you see in them if they want to work with you?
Okay, very good question. I just want, again, it's a weird thing, but I just want them to be available, right? My team is the most chillest team out there, but they get the job done at the right time. Like, that's it, right? I don't have any like opening hours, logging off hours, and all these stuff. Like, my team is pretty chill. But let's say, like, Like I'm a pretty much night guy, so like if I message my funnel guy at 1 a.m., he's available, right? It's a little bit weird, but our people are just like our people do that. But couple of things I look at is I don't like not at the amount of work you have, like not the kind of college degrees and all these things you have, but what's your experience out there. We really hire the best of, like I have one of the best funnel builders in this country in my team. Like nobody can beat him at funnels, like design especially, right? Our funnels are beautiful because of that guy. We are one of the best copywriters in the team, so if you're really really good at what you do, we hire you instantly, right? So that's one of the biggest part. And operational efficiency, right? Because some people get a job done in 15 hours and somebody gets it done in 2 hours. So like I always hire that person, right, who gets it done fast. And yeah, that's these are the few elements. And somebody wants to work with us, you can attend one of our events. December I didn't do any events, I just want to take time off, 1 month chill, go to I'm going to Dubai in 2 days 3 days, just have some fun over there. And yeah, in January we're coming up with a banger one, so be a part of our events. If not anything else, I'm not saying buy my product, but at least you'll learn a lot when it comes to selling and offers. And you can sign up for a newsletter to launchatscale.com. So yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful, Shubh. Shubh, do you have any book or something which you want to share, or like how can people connect with you if they want to learn more about this launches, follow you to make a world a
Yeah,
better place to be?
yeah, again, the only way you can buy our products is like join one of our events, and launch at scale.com. Launch 80 at scale.com is our website. You can go join the newsletter. We put out a lot of cool newsletters out there, so that's also another part. Yeah.
Wonderful, amazing, Shubh, and thank you so much for sharing your incredible wisdom with all of us. It was great, fun experience talking to you. And yep, any last words you want to tell before we conclude?
That's it. Keep pushing. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Guys, go and implement, take action. The non conventional outsider thinkers are the people who make the next money, right? It's not the person who digs the gold, it's the people who tells where is the gold and present it to the world, right? It's like presenters, persuaders, communicators who can change the world. Um, I want everyone to learn this and implement to make a world a better place to live and make more to give more. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Do let us know what was your three biggest takeaways. Do share it with your friend on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're watching from. And yep, let's make a world a better place to live and let's take our country to the next level. With that being said, thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you, Shub.
Thanks
Bye.
everybody.
By now, you must have understood in order to reach the goal, you must have the right systems and processes. If you're like a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, and you want to have a system in place, like a proper funnel, landing page, like webinar, and want to make the webinar even more persuade you, like a you need a persuade you script, and you need an LMS, learning management system, to launch, like put out your course, like a proper system and a community and everything, like with right WhatsApp automation, CRM, and everything. And what you can do is like you can book a call with us in the link in the description, me or my team. You can connect with us on a discovery call and we'll understand where you are right now and where you want to be, and we'll tell you exactly how we can help you out, or if not, we can redirect you to some other source, right? With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the podcast. Bye bye.